Section 5.3 continued. Once the inference regarding surplus or shortage is determined, the organization can determine what it's going to do about these potential problems. For example, in the construction industry in 2015, a shortage of skilled laborers meant that many real estate developers had to cut back on building plans or had these plans delayed in an inordinate amount of time because of the inability to find workers with specific skills. In Denver, Shia Homes had plans and funding to build 325 homes, but could not execute these plans because the company could not find workers to fit and install cabinets, as well as heating, ventilation, and air conditioning installers. In contrast to construction workers, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics estimates that during the decade ending in 2020, the U.S. economy will create roughly 70,000 lawyer positions, while U.S. law schools are matriculating over 25,000 graduates a year. This translates into a labor surplus of 180,000 lawyers with little or nothing to do. Some observers have noted that smaller, private, and less reputable law schools have contributed to this problem. Kyle McEntee, Executive Director of the advocacy group Law School Transparency, notes, people are not being helped by going to these schools. The debt's really high, the bar passage rates are poor, and employment opportunities are horrendous. Determining the underlying reason for the shortage or surplus is also important, because this will have implications down the line when it comes to addressing the problem. For example, in some cases, stereotypes about the job may be needlessly restricting the supply of potential workers. In Japan, for example, working in the auto industry was traditionally not viewed as women's work. However, when confronted with a critical labor shortage due to an aging domestic population, companies like Honda, Toyota, and Nissan started to hire many more women. In contrast, the United States chronic labor shortage in the field of nursing, a job that's traditionally considered women's work, has prompted employers to hire more male nurses. Ironically, many of these men are moving into nursing or transitioning from jobs in the U.S. auto industry when they were displaced by robots or other forms of technology. All right, moving to the next section of 5.3, goal setting and strategic planning. The second step in human resource planning is goal setting and strategic planning, as shown in the middle of Figure 5.1. The purpose of setting specific quantitative goals is to focus attention on the problem and provide a benchmark for determining the relative success of any programs aimed at redressing a pending labor shortage or surplus. The goals should come directly from the analysis of the labor supply and demand and should include a specific figure for what should happen with the job category or skill area and a specific timetable for when results should be achieved. Once these goals are established, the firm needs to choose from many different strategies available for addressing labor shortages and surpluses. Table 5.2 shows some of the options for an HR planner seeking to reduce a labor surplus. Table 5.3 shows some of the options available to the same planner intent on avoiding a labor shortage. Table 5.2, options for reducing an expected labor surplus. Downsizing, is option 1, is fast, high human suffering. Pay reductions, fast, high human suffering. Demotions, fast, high human suffering. Transfers, fast, moderate human suffering. Work sharing, fast, moderate. Hiring freeze, slow, low human suffering. Natural attrition, slow, low human suffering. Early retirement, slow, low human suffering. And retraining is slow and also low human suffering. Options for avoiding an expected labor shortage. So, overtime, it's fast and high revocability. Temporary employees, fast and high revocability. Outsourcing, fast and high revocability. Training transfers, slow, high revocability. Turnover reduction, slow, moderate revocability. New external hires is slow, but it has low revocability. Technological innovation, slow and low revocability. All right, we're probably going to stop there. Actually, no, we can continue. I would like to get into downsizing. So we'll continue this section and then we'll stop at downsizing. This stage is critical because many options available to the planner differ widely in their expense, speed, effectiveness, amount of human suffering, and revocability, how easily the change can be done. For example, if the organization can anticipate a labor shortage far enough in advance, it may be able to freeze hiring and then just let natural attrition adjust the size of the labor force. If successful, an organization may be able to avoid layoffs altogether so that no one has to lose a job. Similarly, with enough advance warning, if an organization can anticipate a labor shortage for some job category, they can work with existing employees to upgrade their skills. For example, the term job reskilling refers to programs with this in mind. That is, taking people whose skills may not be in demand in the future and providing with them needed training. Sometimes this training is conducted by employers themselves, who set up short-term reskilling boot camps to quickly move employees from one job category to another. In other cases, employers work with the state agencies that take job descriptions of work that is in demand, and then work with local residents to provide them the skills that are needed in those specific local jobs. Still, other programs are national level initiatives where individuals make their own decisions regarding how they want to upgrade their skills, and then apply for government scholarships to make that happen. Regardless of that method, the ultimate goal of all these programs is to find a win-win solution for employers and workers when it comes to creating a better fit between the skills in demand and the skills in supply. Unfortunately for many workers in the past decade, the typical organizational response to a surplus of labor has been downsizing, which is fast and high in human suffering. The human suffering caused by downsizing has both an immediate and long-term element. In the short term, the lack of pay, benefits, and meaningful work has negative implications for financial, physical, and psychological aspects of individuals, causing bankruptcies, illness, and depression. Then, even if one can survive those immediate problems, in the long term, an extended bout of unemployment, lasting over 6 months, can stigmatize the individual, thus reducing future opportunities. In particular, in job categories where skills are perishable and need to be updated continually, many laid-off workers will take any work within their area, even unpaid volunteer work, to prevent a gap in their employment history. In contrast, the typical organizational response to a labor shortage has been either hiring temporary employees or outsourcing, responses that are fast and high in revocability. Given the pervasiveness of these choices, we will devote special subjects of this chapter to each of these options. All right, we'll come back and we'll look into downsizing.